someone who's the seventh male child in their family? Well, in Argentina, that might mean they are destined to become a werewolf. But relax, we know how to change that twist of fate. We actually have a law that guarantees presidential godparenting for these kids, meant to protect them from such a curse. Sounds wild? That's because it is. Today, we are diving into one of the most disturbing and fascinating legends of Argentine folklore, El Lobizón. Hello and welcome to Words Across Worlds. I'm Verónica Pellegrino, an Argentinian English and Spanish teacher, storyteller, and cultural explorer. I'm here to take you through the rich traditions, myths, and mysteries of my country. Whether you are an English learner, a curious traveler, or a teacher looking for authentic cultural stories to share in your classroom, this is your space to connect, reflect, and enjoy. Today's story is all about El Lobizón, the Argentine werewolf. This tale is deeply rooted in regional beliefs, especially in the northeastern provinces of Argentina. It's creepy, mysterious, and carries more symbolism that you might expect. So who or what is El Lobizón? According to popular belief, El Lobizón is the Argentine version of the werewolf. But unlike the European tales you might have heard before, this legend has a unique local touch born from a rich mix of cultural influences. It's especially strong in the north and northeast of Argentina, in provinces like Corrientes, Misiones, and Formosa, where waves of European immigrants settled among indigenous communities, bringing their own myths and stories of supernatural events. These tales mingled with Guarani myths, Catholic traditions, and rural superstitions, creating something entirely new, El Lobizón. And here's the catch, he's not just any werewolf. The Lobizón is said to be the seventh son in a family of all boys. Born under a curse on certain nights, especially during a full moon, particularly on Tuesdays and Fridays, he transforms into a creature that roams through cemeteries, dark fields, and lonely paths. Dirty, hairy, with glowing eyes and a horrible stench, he frightens animals, steals food, and sometimes even attacks people. But don't worry, he is not always that dangerous. In some versions of the legend, he is more tragic than terrifying. A cursed soul who didn't choose his fate, almost like a punishment passed down through bloodlines. So you must be thinking, how was it that this tale of frightening creatures and curses leapt from whispered tales to official government action? Well, legends have power, and in Argentina, this one became so deeply rooted in rural communities, and the fear of having a seventh son became so strong that some families abandoned or gave away their babies to avoid the curse. That's why, in 1907, an incredible tradition began. The president of Argentina started becoming the official godparent of every seventh son or seventh daughter, to protect the child from stigma and to give families a reason to celebrate the birth instead of fearing it. This custom was later formalized through law, commonly referred to as the Presidential Godparenting Act. Under this legislation, the child not only receives symbolic godparenthood from the sitting president, but is also awarded a certificate, a commemorative medal, and, in some cases, educational support. So yes, in Argentina, your seventh son or daughter might have the president as a godparent. Pretty cool, huh? Or not? But why do people keep telling these stories? Well, legends like the Lobizón are more than just spooky stories shared around the fire during a camping trip. They carry meaning. They are part of how we make sense of the unknown. The tale of a Lobizón reflects cultural values, fears, and questions about family, identity, and what happens when someone doesn't quite fit into society. In some versions of the tale, the cursed boy becomes an outcast. People fear him, isolate him, or blame him for misfortunes. There's something very human in that idea, the fear of being different or marked by something we can't control. In some regions, the Lobizón is still part of local identity. There are several traditions that keep the myth alive. And of course, storytellers and artists have turned the Lobizón into books, plays, and even songs. These stories may evolve, but they never disappear. So this story can open up discussions not only about folklore and tradition, but also about exclusion, superstition, and how communities deal with difference. So, the next time you're walking under a full moon in the countryside of northern Argentina, maybe don't wander off alone. You never know who or what might be out there. Thanks for joining me on this journey through one of Argentina's most haunting legends. Are there any questions you have about this tale? Leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, or share it with someone who may enjoy this legend. And if you're a teacher, this episode might be just what you need to spark a classroom conversation or add some cultural flavor to your listening practice. I'm Veronica Pellegrino, and this is Words Across Worlds. See you next time with another story that crosses borders and connects us all. One story at a time.